What did you say this room was called?
Sacrificial chamber.
Hello there. My name is Dr. Anton Jessup, curator of monster studies here at the university. I'm continuing my little series of monstrous sexual education lectures for today's young people, because you know college students, all they care about is sex, sex, sex. Especially after consuming drinking water laced with a psychosexual stimulant. Oops. I'm excited about today's lecture because it applies to students of all genders and sexes. This extraterrestrial threat doesn't care what sort of genitalia you have, so long as you have a thoroughly huggable face. So without further ado, let's check out the specimen. A number of unnatural creatures are known to shackle onto a human face from time to time, but I speak of that most perfect organism, the Xenomorph. The creature's overall metamorphic life cycle is simply a wonderland of monstrous biology. But today we must focus on its pre-larval form, the Facehugger. Upon emergence from its leathery, flower-like egg, the Facehugger springs on coiled tail, secretes acidic fluids to eat through any pesky helmets, and attaches itself directly to the host organism's head. It coils its tail around the creature's neck and firmly affixes itself over the face with 8 finger-like appendages. Once secured, the Facehugger cuts off the host's breathing and then feeds just enough air down the throat to keep the host alive but unconscious. It won't be there for long, of course, as it lives only to deposit what can best be described as an embryo right down the host organism's throat. Then, its purpose completed, the Facehugger detaches, crumples, and dies. Is the Facehugger truly a pre-larval stage at all? The creature that emerges from the egg is little more than a highly aggressive delivery system for the embryo, which must then gestate inside a host body, while the Facehugger itself perishes. Yirin, what's your take on all of this? Perhaps our friend is correct. Perhaps the Facehugger is no more a true xenomorph than a sperm cell is a human being. It might just be a mobile sex organ intent on penetrating a suitable target. This fantastic notion isn't entirely without precedent among terrestrial organisms. Here on Earth, the male Argonaut, or paper nautilus, uses a specialized detachable tentacle called a hectocotylis to deliver sperm to a female. Once detached, the spermatophore-laden tentacle can swim freely, but is unable to seek out a female on its own. Fittingly, marine biologists initially mistook the hectocotylis for a parasitic worm. But the Facehugger doesn't detach a sex organ, it functions as one entirely. In this, the creature has more in common with Nereididae ragworms, a bottom-feeding sea creeper with a rather transformative approach to sexual maturity. Its legs morph into paddles, its guts atrophy, its body bloats with accumulated sperm or egg. Posed for its reproductive mission, its eyes enlarge, and upon a full moon, the ragworms paddle to the surface and explode in a reproductive slurry. And this is not unlike the Facehugger's fatal mission to deliver its alien embryo, an embryo that must grow inside a host, much like the larva of parasitic wasps within a spider. And yet, the xenomorph embryo steals genes from its host, a process known as horizontal gene transfer in natural biology. And this practice ultimately influences the deadly details of its mature adult form. See, human sexuality is so boring compared to alien or even terrestrial species that detach and transform themselves for sexual reproduction. Maxwell, if you would, grab a crowbar and in transmission. Now class, you'll remember that Homo nautilindi here is one of the more complex specimens of the unnatural world. They make their home in the honeycombed coral patches of the deepest ocean. And then from there, they work their way up into our dreams, into our nightmares.